Hello, it's Jackie here. My husband and I are moving from Estonia to Switzerland on the 2nd of August, so what I want to do this weekend is do like a trial pack to see how much fits in our suitcases and how much we're going to have to ship over, and of course like what we can either sell or donate. So I thought I'd have a casual chat with you while I'm doing all of that. One problem is that my camera is running out of battery, so I'm not sure how well this is going to go, but we'll see how we do. So I never considered myself to be a person who had that many clothes, but this looks like a lot, especially when you include things like my wonderful chicken onesie, which takes up quite a bit of space, as well as all of my pajamas, which are under the things hanging up here. So this is going to be interesting. So I have a few broad categories of clothes here. There are things that I currently wear and would obviously want to take with me in the suitcase just because I'm wearing them now and I will likely continue to wear them. There are things that I wear in the winter, which obviously I'm not going to wear now, but I will need them in future, so those are things that I'm going to post over. Then there are sort of like aspirational clothes, so things that fit me at one stage that don't fit me anymore, but I still have hope that they might one day fit me again. So I have gotten rid of a lot of these. A lot of these things are in the bag for donation, but there are still a handful of things where it's like, oh, it's not like it's only 1 or 2 sizes too small, so you know, it might happen one day. So I have a bit of a problem. I put everything on my bed and now I have nowhere to organize the different categories of things. So I might need to rethink this approach. There's really not enough space for me here with the suitcases. So since we're here, I thought I might give you an update on what's happening with me writing-wise. So it is July. I didn't realise until today, which is I think the 3rd, that means it is time for Camp NaNoWriMo. So given that it's the 3rd and I am not prepared, I don't think I'll be doing camp. I do want to start on a new writing project, but yeah, I don't even know what goal to set at this stage. So my new project is something that I think will have more of a fairy tale feel than Powerless. The codename I'm working with at the moment is The Glass Witch. If you also watch Lindsay Puckett, I am aware that that is the name of her book that's on submission, so I'll come up with something new for it, but that's what I'm calling it for the time being. So the idea is about an apprentice glassblower in Renaissance Venice who wants to be the most famous and respected glassblower there is. She wants people to travel from all corners of Europe to buy her art. And I think I'm going to adjust the camera angle because I'm too high. Movie magic. So she wants everyone to travel to Venice to buy and appreciate her art. Anyway, the book starts maybe a month before the Carnival in Venice, and she and one of her friends, the name I'm playing with at the moment is Roberto, they go to look at all of the other exhibits waiting for Carnival. And she sees this statue of a girl, and it looks like it's one solid piece of completely transparent glass, which back then I believe would have been very hard to do. In Venice they were very famous for glass blowing, but sculpting from a bit of solid glass is a bit of a different art form, and when you're looking at a life-size statue of a girl around the same age as Chiara, that's pretty impressive. And she becomes obsessed with this statue. Like, I think 3 days in a row she goes, I'm worried this pile of clothes is going to fall. Actually I don't need, that can be delivered. Oh, I think I'm going to need a second pile for the stuff to pack. What was I saying? No! We all knew that was going to happen. Anyway, back on track. So she becomes obsessed with this statue and she goes back night after night to see it, and she wants to like decipher the puzzle of who had the skills to create this piece of art, because she knows all of the artisans, she's part of the world, she knows all of the masters, she knows all of the apprentices, and she doesn't think any of them have the ability to create something like this. So she is determined to find out who made it, and I'm not sure how she finds out. I'm thinking maybe on the third day she visits, there'll be some sort of clue indicating who the maker is, just because I want this to feel a little bit like a fairy tale, and fairy tales have clues if you prove yourself worthy. So on the third day, she finds some clue which gives her a starting point to go on this journey, and she and her friend Roberto go on a journey to find the person who created this statue. And it turns out the person who created this statue is actually a witch, a glass witch, someone who can turn anything she touches into glass. And she used to be, like Chiara, she used to be an artisan in Venice, and she was banished and forbidden from going back. And I'm still figuring out the details around this, but she has been trying to lure someone out to her for years. And I'm not sure if it's because she wants to pass on the gift because it's like a curse as well as a gift, or if it's to get revenge. I'm thinking it'll be to get revenge just because it's a little bit juicier. So she has been trying to call someone out to her, and Chiara's the one who takes the bait. So she goes out and finds this witch, not knowing that it's a witch, who's trying to get back to Venice somehow, and starts working with her. She apprentices herself to the witch instead, and wants to learn how she built this incredible statue. And there's going to be a climactic scene at the carnival in Venice. That something's going to happen between the witch and Chiara, where Chiara unwittingly invites her back to Venice, and then she is free to go there and turn the city into glass. So that's what I've got so far, and I'm a little bit worried because it is nothing like Powerless, and if Powerless gets interest, then an agent or publisher will probably want something similar. But Powerless is probably going to be a trilogy, so that's okay. So that's the idea so far. I have a separate video where I've actually started trying to outline this. So I've used basically my favorite methods from when I outlined Powerless. So that was the take off your pants story core, the save the cat beat sheet, the story engineering outline. I want to use the Save the Cat storyboard as well, but I'm still on the story engineering outline. It has been maybe 2 weeks since I first started looking at that, because what I found was I did the Save the Cat beat sheet, and then when I went on to do the story engineering outline, I found I wasn't getting many new ideas, and that could either be because you're supposed to follow the method in its entirety, which is my bad for just doing cherry picking the bits I like. It could also be just because I was doing them all in a row, like it was all in the space of maybe 2 hours I was doing everything, whereas last time when I used these methods, it was sort of one every 1 to 2 weeks, so each weekend I was trying a different method, which gives you more time to think and for the thoughts to marinate between, just between each session you look at it. So now that it's been a couple of weeks, I think we'll see how this packing experiment goes first, but I think I would like to revisit and see if I can flesh it out a little bit more. I also have started a little bit of writing, just the scene where she first sees the statue, because that was really fresh in my mind. So I might also play with that a little bit, like just writing the things that are really inspiring me at the moment, rather than trying to get everything outlined perfectly. But that is the new project right now. So this is what I'm left with. These 2 piles on the end, they're the ones that I would actually pack now. These 4 are all like either winter things or things where I don't have an occasion to wear them yet. Probably about a third of this mass in these 2 piles is pajamas, which take up a surprising amount of space. I mean, from like these are a couple of jumpers I wear to sleep. So this all the way to here, and then this chunk here, that's all just pajamas. So they take up a lot of room. This is my selection of things that are just big. So my Snuggie, my onesie, my shawl. And then over there we've got winter jackets, so obviously you don't need them. And then these are the 2 contentious piles. Ignore all of the coat hangers. So this first one, this is the pile of stuff that doesn't fit, but I would like it to, which isn't actually that big. But given how big, like these 2 that need to be sent are, maybe I should get rid of some of this. Or maybe I should just get rid of some pajamas. This one is my corporate style clothes. So the reason corporate clothes are interesting is because I don't wear them anymore. And even when I worked in corporate, I didn't really wear them that much anymore because, like, in Australia and in Estonia, you don't really get that dressed up anymore. I mean, a lot of people wear jeans and nice tops to work every day. So I'm a bit torn about what to do with them because I feel like it's good to have some suits and that sort of stuff just in case you have an occasion where you need them, but like if it's just in case I have an occasion where I need them, I should get rid of everything except for one suit. So probably should make some decisions about getting rid of some of that stuff. A bit warm now. So I just did some fashion parades with my husband to take a look at that corporate pile, and he liked everything, which is lovely when your husband thinks you look good and everything, but it doesn't really help us practically with the current situation. So we rationalized one jacket, but are keeping the rest. Though he said we could get rid of the chicken onesie, which I left up to him because it was a gift I got for him because like he calls me his little chicken, so I got a chicken onesie for one of his birthdays as a joke. So we'll see if anyone wants to adopt our onesie. But yeah, I have a lot of stuff to ship. And it's a little bit different from previous times when I've moved like internationally, because this is the 5th time actually. So I moved from Australia to London, then London to Australia, then Australia to Paris, then Paris to Australia, then Australia to Estonia, and now this is the 6th time, so Estonia to Switzerland. And this is probably the most challenging time because both London and Paris I didn't have that much, like I could just take it home with me on the plane. And even if I did, like I could have shipped stuff home to my parents easily enough, whereas now we don't have a home address to ship anything to because this is our home address, and we don't have a new place in Switzerland yet because we want to be there to look at places. So we've sort of got this limbo. I think I might send like some books back to Australia because I'm probably not going to reread them in the next, let's say, 2 years we're in Switzerland. But other than that, like everything's coming with us, so I guess we'll just have to send it to the Airbnb and hope that they deliver it when we're at home and we don't need to go to the post office and show proof of address because we won't have proof of address, but we'll see. So something I've been struggling with when it comes to getting into this new project is, I mean, I guess it is self-doubt. I was going to say it's not self-doubt because it doesn't feel that strong, but that is the only accurate way to describe it, in that I tried these plotting exercises and I didn't feel like I was getting very far beyond the initial idea. And yeah, there were some new things that popped up, but I feel like when I did Powerless, I was a lot further along at the end. And that may or may not be true because I remember writing Powerless when like I got to scenes where it's like, oh yes, I had this in my outline and all I had was the Brotherhood interrupts the family on a mission. It's like, oh, well, that doesn't really tell me what's happening here. So maybe I am at the same stage I was with Powerless when I was at the outlining, but part of me doubts my ability to write another book. I worry that maybe Powerless was all I had in me, or maybe I can write another book, but it's going to be another 10, 15 years, because that's what happened with my fantasy hot mess. I wrote it when I was 19, and then I didn't finish anything else until 2019, so that's like 13, 14 years later. And now it's like, well, maybe I've done my project for the decade and I'm gonna have to wait another 10 years, which does not fill me with hope because that is not how working writers work, at least not in YA. Like, you're generally releasing a book every year, maybe a book every 2 years. So waiting a decade for inspiration to strike again isn't really realistic. So part of me wonders, like, is it just not a strong enough idea? In which case I should go back to the drawing board and find something that is a bit easier to flesh out. Or maybe it has nothing to do with the strength of the idea, and instead it's my ability, and I just had the one book in me, or the one book in me for now. And then there's probably the most likely culprit, which is just self-doubt. So I'm able to do it, but I haven't built up the habit of writing new books yet and finishing new books yet. So when it's time to do another one, I doubt my ability because I don't have any evidence in the past showing how that could happen. In fact, because it's the middle of the year, we had our like semester reviews, we call them at work, so half-yearly reviews. And one of my team members is an intern, so he's not like really young. He's not like at university or anything, but is in his 20s and doesn't have that much work experience. And one of the things he mentioned he needed to work on was confidence. So one of the things we were talking about was how you know, there's a lot of stuff you can do in terms of personal development to improve your confidence, like you can do affirmations, visualizations, all of that sort of stuff. But the thing I've found to be this stuff is taking up more room in the suitcase than I expected. I thought it was going to be half empty. So you can do personal development things to help with your self-esteem, but what I find to be the most helpful is sort of taking action, so taking small chances, because the reason why I have so much confidence at work is, and honestly in my current role I probably don't have that much confidence, but as like a content person and a copywriter and a content marketer, which is what I was doing before this job, I was very confident because I had, you know, over 10 years of experience behind me showing that every time I'd been thrown into a situation, I'd managed to figure it out. And yes, of course I learned and improved as I went, but I survived everything, even if I made mistakes. And having that track record behind you naturally gives you confidence because, like, okay, I did it once, I can do it again. And I had all of these things that happened in the past and I didn't know how I'd deal with them, and I did. I survived, I'm still here. So therefore, any other new things that come up, there's a good chance I can probably handle them because I've done it in the past. So professionally, I have this track record which has built this confidence. With writing, I don't. And I don't know if there are any shortcuts to building that confidence, or if it's just you need to write more, and the more you write, the more your confidence will grow, and it turns into this virtuous cycle. So yeah, that's my rambly way of saying I'm lacking in confidence. Starting a new project is uncomfortable, but I probably do need to get started in order to get through this uncomfortable stage. So here's what we're dealing with. First, we've got the big box that is overflowing, as you can see. This backpack we'll also use to send stuff. This is the bag of things to donate. I'm probably going to need another bag because it's also overflowing. Then we get to the suitcase that I'll be taking with me, and that's a bit under 3/4 full, which isn't too bad until you consider that there's no tech stuff in there, no shoes, and we still need to do the washing this week, so there's more clothes. Then we have shoes. I should probably get rid of some of these because I only really wear, like, I wear the boots in winter and only really wear these two at the moment, but the shiny ones are nice for special occasions when they happen. Then that suitcase you can ignore because Drew will use that one. And then I started gathering non-tech stuff. So we have general stationery and some craft books here. Oh, in fact, yeah, and then we've got more craft books under here, as well as French books. And these are a couple of books I just want to take with me because they're good and I'll probably want to reread them. The rest of the books I'm going to be sending back to Australia. And then we have the box for my Mac for work because work had to send me a Mac from Switzerland rather than letting me get one here. Then over here we've got chicken onesie, which we'll see if anyone wants, and jackets which need to be dry cleaned or tailored before we go. So those jackets over there, they need to go in this packing district as well. And then this doesn't include my laptops because I have my personal laptop and my work laptop. It doesn't include the tripods, which you can see set up here. It doesn't include the light. It doesn't include handbags, which I just saw in the cupboard. And I don't have, like, I have like 3 handbags, so that's not many, but still they take up space. I don't know how it's all going to work. I'm so tired and so sick of packing, especially because we're not even doing it for real now. We're not leaving for another 30 days. So I need to unpack again after this, or at least I need to unpack the suitcase of stuff that I still use now. And I don't know how we have so much stuff. And I feel like I don't buy a lot of stuff, but somehow it just accumulates. And I really can't be bothered to move. Yeah, so I think I'm going to take a break from here. and see how Drew's going, because he's like doing the same exercise in the other rooms. And then, yeah, well, I guess we'll figure out how much we need to ship over, but I don't want to move. Like, I know I'll be happy when I get there, but I just can't be bothered. I just want to be a lazy blob. Is that too much to ask? Thank you for watching. If you like this, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave a comment. Let me know if you have any tips or thoughts on moving, as well as the other writing related stuff, so new ideas and self-doubt. And I will see you next time. Bye.